Okay, folks, we're back. And I say this when I see wings under the tower or funny car bodies in the staging lane. It's about to get a whole lot louder in here. I've had him on the show before. He is my big brother. He is the host of the podcast, The Breakdown with Karita Parks. Welcome back, D Bland. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm happy. You know how it is, family. You already know. All right, so let's just get right to it. So I saw these on NHRA.com, and I didn't want to use all of them, but I did see two that I did want to talk about. So Kalita Motorsports revival is underway? Question mark. There should be a question mark there, but what do you think?
Interesting. Look, I thought they came out in qualifying, and he really did a good job. It seems like they, of course, we all know they came out, and this year Doug Coletta has a canopy car. They've made some changes to that car to kind of suit Alan Johnson's repertoire, right? I think Alan Johnson is successful when he has things a certain way. I think we can kind of liken that to football with not getting just any quarterback or any type of defensive lineman or linebacker. That some of these players are system players, and I think that at this time, Alan Johnson is a system tuner. So with that said, you got to give him credit. They had success this weekend in qualifying. I thought they were really well. He comes out in that first round and is able to really put up that 372.3 at 327.82 miles an hour. You look at the 60-foot incrementals at that 830. He right on par with a lot of people, and really, to be honest with you, he was quicker than a lot of people, especially in that first round. I mean, it was a 0.830 to the 60-foot, and the closest person was Sean Langdon with that. So wow. That first round, they came out and did a good job. The third round, obviously, we got rained out for the second round for top fuel. They only had a pair of funny cars go down. And then you look at what they did when it comes down to the second or the third round of qualifying. That 375.3 was legit. Then he comes back in that fourth round of qualifying. He was involved in the All-Star call out as well. But he comes back in that fourth round, and they just kind of lit the tires up. They lit the tires up in the All-Star call out too. And I just have a little bit of an issue with that, because I felt like you didn't have to overpower the racetrack. We saw Josh Hart running 75s and 74s to win the thing. Okay, yeah. He didn't run 69s to win it. He ran a 74 and a 75. They ran, like I said, they came out and ran 72. I believe they could have ran a 74. They might have gone to the next round. Would they have won? We can't say that because it didn't play out that way.
Right.
But I would have liked to have seen them kind of go with what the track was giving them at the moment. You're in an all-star call out for 80,000. Try to keep yourself in it, and don't try to overpower the racetrack trying to run a 69, which they hadn't done all day.
Exactly.
But I think you have to give them credit. There's a vast improvement. There's consistency is what we saw in this first race, and we'll see if it can continue. I can't, say that I don't think we can say there's a revival yet until we get let's get through this first quarter of the regular season. Right now we're in the first race of the first quarter of the regular season. So, revival, let's pump the brakes on that. Let's see if we can get here to the fourth race. We'll tally things up and we'll see if there's a revival or not.
Sure. I agree, for sure. I always love the headlines. Oh, by the way, folks, he was there this weekend. He was there. He got to feel that sound.
It was beautiful.
That's, man. Okay. I was listening to, before we started, I was listening to the clip that I put of the funny car final, and just the richness. It's just, I can't wait for you to hear it. Yeah, I bump up the bass a little bit because you got to take out a little bit of the sound because it's so much sound.
Yeah,
So you got to kind of take.
It's overpowering.
Yeah, so you got to kind of. And I get it because I record the cars the same way. I got to add some of the bass that is there back in.
Right.
But
exactly.
Yeah, but anyway, I definitely agree. JR's car, how about that? Like the funny cars in the final, like that's good to see. I love when that DHL now Toyota Supra is in the final late rounds in the day.
Yeah, that 2023 Supra was rolling, and that's what you want to see. It's always better when JR Todd is doing well. We all know he doesn't mince his words.
No, he
doesn't. Wears
doesn't.
his emotions on his sleeve, and
Yes.
he's a real tough competitor.
For sure.
And it was really nice to see them just come out and just swing the bats and hit every time. It didn't work out in the final, but they were right there with Matt, and even Matt said he was out in front. In the statistics, the numbers show that he was out in front until it lost the tires. It was beautiful to watch, and I'm hoping that this can continue through the season.
For sure. And I mean, like you said, I mean, you could have thrown a cover over him till about 400 feet. Like it was a pick, and that's what you want to see in the final. Absolutely. That's what you want to see. So I think the team is looking good, and it's such a long season, so it's kind of hard to after one race go, well, are they back? So speaking of that, and that brings me to my next question. So Josh Hart begins the season the best way possible, is what they say. I agree. I mean, look at him. He comes out, wins the All-Star money. How about all the side bets this weekend? Like that
was fantastic. That's what I wanted to see. A little bit more WWE trash talk would have been nice, but you know what? It's definitely a step up from last year. Yeah. They really did a good job. They really played into this call out, and it was nice. That $5,000 side bet though was nice.
And then he pulls it out of his fire suit at the end of the racetrack.
That was fire.
Goals, people. You run down the track 330 and get out. I got 5,000 right here.
I think the best comment of the call out though comes from Austin Prock when he was asked whether there was going to be a side bet or not, and Austin was like, "That man's got too many cars."
Oh yeah.
I can't compete with that.
Yeah. Hey, you can't argue with that. Yeah. Shout out to Josh Hart and Bernice.
Yes. I applaud him for that though. It was good. It was very good. Very well done.
Yeah, for sure. And this is what we need. This is what I looked forward to. Like when I was a kid growing up as a fan, you see the Budweiser shootout, the Top Fuel. And I remember one from 2004. I remember when I think it was Brandon when he had the white on his car, and Scott Coletta had the spider paint scheme. I just remember that. Like that's stuff you don't forget. Yep. But I think he did a fine job. I mean, that car was coming alive last season. Like I saw him run 366. I saw it.
Right.
Like I saw it. So hey, we're gonna have to watch Josh Hart because he might not have all the bravado that some of the other drivers have, but don't ever sleep on him.
But you know what I like about him? The man is genuine.
Yeah.
And I met him when he was in Top Alcohol, when they thought that it was a possibility that Vandergriff was going to be adding some Top Fuel dragsters, and he was supposed to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that did not work out. But from the time I met him, Josh is Josh. He's a very, very well-spoken, genuine individual. And what you see is what you get. He's not putting on airs or anything like that.
Exactly.
He is who he is, and let him be that. And I applaud that of him. It's great to watch him come from Top Alcohol. He wanted to be in Top Fuel, and he made it happen. And that's really, really amazing.
Yeah, it's on the wing. It's on the wing. Anything's possible. I love it. I think that was the car that when it did a burnout when I was at the gate, when they were at Gateway, I'm still call it Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway. I'm sorry, but like he did a burnout and he just sat there and I saw his wing and it said anything is possible, and I was just like, hey, I could do this. I could have one of these things out here, like. So anyway, did I just say something I shouldn't have said? I'm sorry. I didn't. Sorry. Anyway, so Mike Salinas wins Top Fuel first race of the season. No major sponsorship. Like, how about that?
First of all, I think everybody saw my tweet, and I'm going to say it again.
Please.
Pep Boys is disrespectful that you're not on this man's car.
Yeah.
They came out last year. You look at what they did last year. They were in the hunt last year. And then the fact that you come out in 2023 to start the season with a win, I mean, it's absolutely and utterly disrespectful that Pep Boys is not on the side of that vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, you look at what they did in those last bit of the season. You know, there were some slip ups, but at the same time, they had their moments. 36-18 round win-loss record ain't no joke. He had 4 wins, 2 runner-ups, 4 semifinals, 7 quarterfinals. Yeah. What else does the man need to do? There's other people on the list that still got sponsors, and they did less. A la Doug Coletta, under 500, mind you, 15-22 last year. So you mean to tell me, Pep Boys, that you can't find some money and get on this man's car? Disrespectful.
Yeah. It was kind of interesting that using the title of Pep Boys All-Star call out. So it's like, okay, you have the money for that, but you don't have the money to support one of the best top fuel cars on the property everywhere they go. Everywhere they go, Mike Salinas, Rob Flynn, they can get the job done. And they're just starting like they did last year. They just were just winning. And I think when AJ left, they all assumed like, oh, he's going to be dead. He's dead. He's done. No.
Rob Flynn was not the problem. MMR says the same thing. I'm saying the same thing. I've been on Rob Flynn's bandwagon.
Yeah, me too.
You got to give him credit, man.
Yes.
He comes in, does the job, understands what's going on there, and he's saying, well, let's see what we can do. Let's see how I can improve on this. And they did that. The scary thing is, and you can watch the clip, the reel, either on my Facebook at NotBland21 or on my Instagram at NotBland21. But I asked them the question of how, you know, they came out against the defending champ and run a 69, and they ran, and the defending champ runs a 73, or I think it was 73 or 75. Couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I think it was 75.
Do you know?
Yeah, 75 with an 8, 332.
Okay, Mike Salinas said the car had more. They should have been running 60s all day long. He said on that pass, it was supposed to be a 67. I think on the 66 pass that he made, it was supposed to be a 63. He said, I bumped it in a little bit too far. And he said on the one run, I think the 69 run, it ate through the clutch.
Okay.
So, you know, this car is hot.
Yeah.
And with the ever-changing conditions this weekend, they managed to stay in it and continue to throw haymakers. And really kudos to, you know, Mike Salinas for understanding that there was a lane issue. The right lane was better, and he had to go out and make sure he got lane choice every round. He did that. And then Rob Flynn follows it up and make it pay. It makes that hard work pay dividends, and they're holding the trophy at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, what can you say about that? You know, it's the numbers, and that's, you know, that's what we do here. The numbers don't lie. Like, you can't make up numbers. You can't, like, okay, you might have opinions, but numbers don't have opinions. Numbers are numbers.
Right.
And that's all I'm going to say on that, you know? So like, this guy is great. I've been a fan of Mike Salinas since he got in the Top Fuel with the bright orange Top Fuel car.
Yes.
Like, yeah, like, so,
you know,
this is great.
he is a guy. He reminds me of my dad as far as his work ethic that he comes from. Building something and understanding the value, and not just in hard work, but also taking care of your people. And he also talked about letting the people that you hired to do the job do their jobs.
Yeah.
It's really remarkable. Very happy to see him start the season with a win and really get the momentum that they had last season continued. Somebody get on the side of that race car.
Yeah.
And Pep Boys, you heard what I said.
Yeah.
Get on the man's race car. He deserves it. And
Oh yeah.
you're gonna get even more visual of Pep Boys because you're going to be on side of a car that's going to be in the semifinals and finals a lot this year.
Exactly. Hey, how about that Matt Hagan going back to back at Gainesville Raceway with the Sublime Lime? Now, let me tell you something about these cars, okay? Now, everybody, the name of the episode, you about to die. It's, you know how people go, New Year, New Me?
Yeah.
The name of the episode is going to be New Me, or no, New Year, New Livery. Everybody's got something different. Everybody's got something different, and it's good looking. But let me tell you about that green. That and we could talk about Leah too a little bit, but like, hey, like, that's good to see. It's a good, and I texted you about it. It's the sport's better when Leah Pruitt's car is good.
Absolutely.
And so, but Tony Stewart, he's a straight up guy. Hey, I want to win. So what do we need to win? Who are the people we need? They have the people. We need the parts. They have the parts. We just need to get the work done. And like Matt Hagan, that was pretty much a turnkey situation. But they've always been good. Every year they're always good. Like the car is good. Dickie Venables. What else do I have to say? Like, John Medlin, he's retired, but he was there a long time. So, yeah. And then you got Hulk, who is just okay, let me just say, folks, people that have never been to a drag race yet, Matt Hagan is a large human. He is very, very, like, he's tall and he's like.
Well, he cut this year. He cut this year.
Did he trim up a little bit?
That boy cut this year.
Okay.
You need to check his Instagram. I always be laughing because he always had them thirst trap photos, getting them ladies, them thirst trap photos. But so he was in the Iron Palace on Twitter, on his Iron Palace. I called it Dodge SRT Iron Palace. Okay. I had retweeted that to The Rock because he calls his thing the Iron Palace. Right. I'm like, hey. We got the Dodge SRT Iron Palace. I'm mad that he didn't respond to Matt Hagan because in that photo, Matt Hagan is cut like Matt could play ball, like linebacker ball. Yeah. Like he in shape, bro.
And and I think back, we off topic, but we do that here, so it's fine. I'm gonna keep going. It makes me think of like Antron Brown. He used to be a sprinter, and like, these people that are like, what y'all don't, I teach on every episode. What y'all don't understand is they don't just get in a car, take it down the other end of the racetrack, and it's just, hunky dory. These people are in shape. These people are like working out. Their weight matters. I mean, the weight of the person in the car, it's all about weight distribution and all that good stuff. These people are like, they look a lot bigger on TV. Like most of them are like just very tiny people, which is crazy, except Matt Hagan. Like, but which brings me back to what I was saying. Like, the guy, we have a John Force grandstand there, don't we? We need to have a Matt Hagan grandstand, right?
Yeah. He working on that. He should already have it by now, but
for sure.
To look at that car and what it did coming into the season, they got a lot of momentum coming into the season. I mean, they were 13-5 win-loss record in the last 6 races of the season. If they didn't go out first round in Pomona, and they didn't go out in 2 rounds or maybe got an extra win, they might have won the championship hands down.
Yeah.
You know, the car, it was running well. They come right in. They didn't even have a lot of testing. They come right in and just start hammering it down. And really, it was just about running the conditions that were there, because every session it was different. I mean, we started out at 55 degrees. I believe we ended the day at 81 degrees.
Yeah.
So, you know, each session it was getting warmer and warmer, and they did an excellent job of just racing the racetrack and letting the car do its job, and Matt doing his job as well. You know, really, really good win for him. And, you know, to be back to back, it doesn't happen very much. I don't think it's happened very much, you know, especially here. Well, in certain categories, but it's nice to him to get back to back. He said something about Gainesville, and he never won it until last year, and now he's got a second one. So exactly. I think he's starting to love Gainesville a little bit.
Folks, I just realized something. I didn't talk about Matt Hagan's second round run. I skipped right over him. I'm just looking at these notes. Let me tell y'all what he ran first, and then we can move on. But y'all know me. I make mistakes as performance, but I always correct it. So let me tell you what Matt Hagan ran in. We love live. This is live. I love it. Well, it's, you know what I mean. Okay. So this is fun. Okay. Matt Hagan, second round. What did Matt Hagan run in the second round?
So Matt ran a 3.882 at 329.67 miles an hour.
Yes.
His 60-foot incrementals between him and Bob Tasca, who another car who had a pretty decent weekend.
Right.
He was 062 on the tree. He was 868 to the 60-foot. Yep. Bob Tasca was 897 to the 60. And then at 330 feet, he had made it up a little bit with that 2.242 second at the 330 foot mark, and by 360, 3.150. I mean, Tasca was right there. He had a 2.274 in the 330, and he had that 3.182 at the 660. Just wasn't enough.
Right.
Hagan was doing 283.97 miles an hour at the 660 mark.
Thank you. And I saw, and I was actually, I brought this up in the other segment when I went through everything, 31 feet at the far end of the racetrack. Now, it never looks like that.
That's a long shutdown in Gainesville.
Yeah, it never looks like it was 31 feet, but it looks a lot closer than it is sometimes because of how they move down there. Like they could be neck and neck at like 800 feet. And then the other car will do something and win the race.
Yeah.
By like, but not only get up close and pass them, but like there's daylight, like these cars.
I'm telling you. What was funny too, I'll go back to Mike Salinas real quick. What was funny, Mike Salinas said every round I was driving it to the 1320 mark.
Yeah.
Rob Flynn was like, stop it. But I was driving that bad boy to the 1320 mark every round.
See, a few of them
you should have seen Joe's face when he said that. It was classic. Joe's face when he said, I drove it to 1320 every time. Joe's face was classic.
I am weak. That is so funny. Yeah, hey, I mean, there's proof out there, just like you said it, that there's some of the drivers are still doing it. Hey, and if it might not be on every race, but they might not time them to 1320, but that don't mean they ain't running it to 1320. Right. Especially like
extra long shutdown, not too bad.
Yeah, like John Force, you think he ain't running it to 1320 sometimes? Okay.
How about John in the qualifying with that 335 mile an hour pass?
Right? Just okay, this is funny. Y'all gonna laugh, and I'm gonna talk about John Force because I'm wearing a hoodie. Give me 1 second. I have to do something. You're gonna laugh. Hey Google, stop. It just plays music. Okay. Anyway, it just starts playing. Okay. Anyway, John Force. Like Max Savage is over there now. You know, they took that monster car stuff with them.
I talked about that too. The changes. I feel like, you know, I know there was some talk that there was some dissension or whatever. I do know that you know, Grubby wanted somebody in the shop all the time. Max Savage really didn't want to do that, so they made some changes to accommodate. Regardless, these changes that to accommodate are absolutely amazing, and it's only going to better this John Force racing team. I think those maneuvers. I think Danny is going to learn a lot from Mac, and it's going to be a nice combo, and it's going to elevate Danny to even progress more as a crew chief. You look at the training, the crew chief in training over there, and Jimmy Proc's son. I like all of what they did with all the changes, regardless of what the reasons were. These changes betters John Force racing.
Yeah,
it didn't show with all the wackiness that we had.
How about that second round? Oh man, that was rough.
Weird.
But it's just stuff. It's drag racing.
It's drag racing.
It's drag racing.
First race, and I think we forget it's the first race of the season too.
Yeah.
And I think you know, some you know, we don't have a preseason, so some teams are still working out the bugs, and there were bugs this weekend.
Oh yeah, like
weird bugs.
JFR going down, and but it wasn't even like all of them weren't just close drag races. They were like Robert Height hits the gas and no flames come up. Like
he had no throttle cable.
Yeah, and folks, that's what I suspected happened. Folks, when you press your foot to, like, a lot of these cars maneuvers or their mechanics are air. It's powered by air. So if there's a leak or something, the leakage literally I know he hit the gas. I know he did, and that happens.
Well,
he
knew he knew he didn't have a throttle cable. They knew that. If you noticed on the burnout at the end of it, it was like the throttle stop, just like on Austin Prox. The throttle stop broke because you heard him burn out, and all you heard was a whop.
Oh,
and it was, you know, it over revved the engine. Now on Austin Prox, it over revved the engine. I believe it was like a lifter or something broke. That's why you saw it kind of burp and then throw up oil on the back of the crewman. Fortunate enough, he was okay.
Very good.
But the throttle stop broke on Austin Proc's car, and you heard it over rev. It was way over revved.
It was audible.
And the same thing happened to Robert Height. And they took the stage, because if you stage the car, you don't have to leave. If the other person goes red or crosses the center line, you can still win.
Right.
So they were just trying to hope that he makes a mistake, we can go another round, but we don't have anything. The cable is gone. We can't go.
Okay. Zoom has told me we have 10 minutes. So just
that'll work.
It's but yeah, like, I mean, just weird stuff. Just weird stuff. Again, it's drag racing. I said it to my dad as we were watching the race. I said, this is a sport where you could qualify number one, win the race the previous week, come up the next week, and like your car won't start in the first round. Like Erica Enders, how about that? Tough break. This is a Nitro show, but tough break. That was rough.
It was. It really was a tough break for her. And I thought she handled it well. I thought that the NHRA crew handled it well too, not putting a mic in front of her face, because I'm sure at that moment she was highly pissed.
Yeah.
So I was glad they did not stick a mic in her face. Yeah. I always say that even about sticking ball sports, sometimes you just shouldn't be sticking a mic in front of somebody's face,
especially in their current mindset.
Right,
of
they're heated.
Yeah,
they're gonna say some things, and you may not like it.
They're gonna have to apologize.
Yeah. So I thought they did a good job by not doing that.
That, yeah, for sure. And yeah, which coincides with something we said earlier. But anyway, the viewers don't need to know that. So we got Mission Food rematches. Like, that's cool. So we're gonna see this come. This is gonna be, I mean, Mission's Food, that's not like a small brand. Like,
No.
that's huge. That's
Is.
huge.
It is very huge for the sport. I do like, let's give NHRA some credit. We talk about the things that we don't like, but I feel like they haven't been given enough credit for this Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty deal. It gives the fans some action on Saturday that they know that is going to be quality passes going down the racetrack. It gives a little money that these drivers can give to their crews as bonuses, so they can get more bonuses during the year. The one thing that that I don't like is the points being given towards the championship. My thing is, if you're going to give bonus points for the championship, then I would like to see, like Matt Hagan won, those individuals won, give them 5 bonus points for winning. Then that kind of balances things out. But it's going to be really weird, to have these bonus points given and they count towards the championship. It's going to make it interesting, but I think there needs to be an adjustment, and they will. I mean, it's the first year. Let's enjoy it, and let's see what they do in the next year. Also, I give them credit for, they had some bugs this weekend with NHRA TV, but that revamp is beautiful.
Yes.
And it's what the fans have been asking for, and it shows that the NHRA has been listening.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we talk about the different things that are negative, but give them credit. They are listening. They had some bugs this weekend, but man, everybody did. Fox did too. I mean, the whole truck went down. So, it's going to be great. And I like this Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge.
Yeah, that kind of leads into like the last statement is, and folks, he's gonna be back a lot, so don't be sad. But Zoom is mean. But seriously, like, first of all, to NHRA TV, I mean, it is like, I mean, I'm looking at the app right now. It just the way the app looks, they got people working, and that's just proof people are listening to what we're saying.
The colors pop. I mean, on my TV, I mean, it's so crispy. It's almost looks like it's in 4K. I mean, it's beautiful.
And you see it. I was watching it on the wall. Yeah. So like to see a big old Top Fuel car, like it has come a long way. I remember, this is gonna age me a little bit. I remember when they were using, they were just doing the audio streaming.
I do too.
Yeah. That's where it started.
Yep. I would do that. I would click in just to listen to the audio of the track, what was going on at the track.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even have cable a lot of times, so I didn't get a chance to see some races if they weren't on a channel that I had. So if I wasn't at my grandfather's, so I would listen to it on the radio.
Yeah. What I loved was how the car sounded when they were leaving the line from the booth. I love it.
Yeah.
That
was pretty cool.
I love these cars. And my favorite part of these cars is how they sound. Like, the sound you feel. It's not just loud. It's beautiful. It's also, folks, there's another reason why he's going to be here a lot. He's a musician. He's a trumpet player. We have these ears, so I'm not just tripping. Like Alan Reinhardt told me, there's not enough difference in the cars for you to hear the difference. I definitely hear a difference, though, AR. I'm telling you, I hear.
I do, and you can hear it. You can hear it a lot of times when they leave, and then when they really start applying the clutch, in the middle of the racetrack, about 3:30 or so, or whatever, you can hear the voice of the engine change. And then when they drive through at that 1,000-foot mark, there's another sound.
Yeah.
There's another octave. So I do hear it. And it's pretty interesting to listen to.
Yeah, and that's why I love to bring musicians. And folks, we're gonna do a whole episode about this, the sound, just the sound, because we mention it. I try to mention it on every show. Like, these cars are like, you see it on TV and it does not do it justice. Like, there is no, I mean, I take my great footage that I take and I have my great microphone. Thank you, Rode. It's good. It's great. It's the only microphone I've ever used that has captured the sound correctly.
Right.
But it is nothing like being there. Sound that rattles the air around the racetrack. Like,
Definitely.
That's ridiculous. So,
and
yeah,
people need to, just like Tony said, buy the tickets. If it comes to your area, or you are in a position where it's close to you, buy the tickets. That's the only way this sport is going to grow. We have to have butts in the seats. So Gainesville showed out, and we need that to continue.
For sure. Well, folks, I'm gonna use my last 2 minutes to talk with my bro. So we're gonna sign off now. Thank you so much for being on the show. You're gonna be back a lot.
I appreciate it.
We already talked about it, but you're gonna be back a lot. But it was a great first race of the season. I am so excited. NHRA 23. I'm starting to hype. Like, I think 22 lived up to it, and I think 23 is gonna outdo that.
It's gonna elevate.
Yeah,
it's gonna elevate
for sure. But that's going to be the end of this one. So we'll see you next week.